outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Hello guys, and happy holidays, happy Vlogmas. Welcome back to my channel, Wrestling with Books, where today we're going to be doing the Christmas Carol book tag. I don't have my glasses on, and I can't tell if I'm in focus or not. Professionals here, we're just book fans. We're just book fans who are avoiding our jobs by filming Vlogmas videos talking about books. That's what's happening here today, but I think this is a great act of avoidance. You know, book chat, book chat. So, you know, I've got my cat, I've got my Hogwarts sweater, and we are ready to go. I saw this book tag on, let's all say it together, Bookables, where I see all my seasonal tags, and it was originally created by a YouTuber, Lauren Wade. So once I discovered that, I followed her channel, and now I'll get to know all the things she has to share. But in the meantime, let's do these prompts that she put together. The prompts are inspired by, of course, the classic story, A Christmas Carol. You know, A Christmas Carol is a good one, and it's one of those stories that I love seeing the different versions done of it. I love when existing characters like the Muppets, like when Mickey and Scrooge do it, take on those roles. I think that is so fun. The first prompt is for The Ghost of Christmas Past. What is a book that you loved as a child? And for me, the books I really connected with growing up that I started, my cat is nuzzling against the box holding up the camera. I was gonna say the tripod, but I have a tripod. Anyway, I connected with not the Babysitter's Club, but the Babysitter's Little Sister books. It was all about Karen. Karen's witch, Karen, and all the things Karen would do. She had glasses, and she was blonde, and the books had this beautiful checker print on them, and those were my jam. I haven't watched season 2 of the Babysitter's Club on Netflix yet, but I did watch season 1 and really loved the actress who plays Karen. Karen, my girl, my OG. Question 2 is The Ghost of Christmas Present. What is a book you recently read that you think will become one of your all-time favorites? So I picked a book that I actually read. I'm trying to find my light. I don't know, it's just not, we're not connecting with it today. Maybe I need to shift. I don't know. But I got my lights, right? That's fun. My Christmas lights. So the next prompt, though, was for what book that you recently read that you think is going to become one of like your all-time favorites, one of your rereadables. I picked a book I read last year. Not everyone talks about it. I think more people should. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I am kind of upset to see that I'm in a minority about this book. I loved it. I haven't found a lot of people on BookTube who love it as well. If you loved it, please comment below and tell me, because I loved it. My husband and I actually buddy read it, which was like so fun to do. I had the ebook, he had the print book, and we both really enjoyed it. And I just love getting to go back into that world, even though, so the Ballad of, I haven't said, for those who don't know, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a Hunger Games prequel, and you get the origin story of President Snow, but also of the games and Pan Am and this world and corruption and the like. So I found it fascinating. I was really excited to get back into the world. There were some things about it that I was like, you know, but overall I loved it, and I already can't wait to reread it. Now that it's been a year, I'm kind of like thinking about it again. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go back there. I mean, definitely before, they do plan to make a movie for it. So I'll definitely be reading it before then, for sure, for sure. Question 3, The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, a book that you're excited to be coming out. So one of my favorite authors, Diane Chamberlain, has a book coming out January, so that will be coming up. It's called The Last House on the Street, and we have a wife whose husband dies while building their dream home. It's kind of in like a very sought after new community in North Carolina, and then the woman across the street kind of has this like, don't move in there, you know, and they say it's dual timelines, and Diane Chamberlain's books, okay? You read what you think's gonna happen, and then something totally different happens. Like, it's never, ever what you think it's gonna be. She's one of my favorite authors, probably one of my most read authors, so I'm really happy that I actually have a copy of the audiobook already from NetGalley that I can read or listen to. Looking forward to that. Totally. Question 4. Ooh, Bah Humbug, a book that everybody loves that you just can't stand. Guys, Six of Crows does not do it for me. Actually, none of the books. I've read 3 of them, okay? I read the Six of Crows, and I read Siege and Storm and Shadow and Bone. So of those 3, you know, I'm tying a bow on it. Maybe I'll do the Nikolai books because I liked him a lot. But Six of Crows is by Leigh Bardugo, and it is about a group of 6 misfits who go on a heist together. Sounds really cool, but if you don't love the Grishaverse, then it's just hard to get into, and I find that I just don't love this universe. So for me, that has been a challenge with those books, but I say give it a chance. I read Six of Crows before Shadow and Bone, so I recommend, if you're going to be new to that, to do the opposite and to read Shadow and Bone first. Question 5, Bob Cratchit. An old dependable that you always recommend. So especially if I am recommending a book to someone who does not like to read, I usually recommend Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, okay, so it's a fantastic movie. It is a 100% like fantastic movie, but the book, even with its changes, are so, it's just so good. And I think why it's great for people who have already watched the movie is that any change makes sense. You know, you're not going, why didn't they do that? Everything made sense of why they did what they did, whether it's because of CGI, budget, story, whatever. But the book is just so good. The experience is just as good whether you have or haven't watched the movie, whether you love the movie or not. It is just a fascinating take, and you get the science behind it. You don't just get those Henry Wu scenes here and there like in the movie. You get a lot of story behind it, and you're like, wow, this man is smart. This author is smart. But it's not so smart. It doesn't read like a textbook. It reads very casually. And I think that anybody would love that book, but especially if you're trying to get into reading and maybe you're not there yet, that's a great book to start with. The next question is Tiny Tim, an underhyped book that you think deserves more love. So for this, I picked Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. I am surprised this book hasn't crossed over more, and by crossover I mean reached people beyond the typical Star Wars book readers. I have a lot of friends who love The Mandalorian, who love the Clone Wars and don't read, and I feel this book is so good that they would like it. It is very easy to read. I think they categorize it even as young adult, and it's still just filled with Star Wars love. I would recommend it to people who have a base familiarity with Star Wars or even the character Ahsoka, and you get her after Order 66, which is what happens after Palpatine orders the Jedis to just be destroyed. We know Ahsoka has survived, and we see her story of where she goes and what she does. Is she still thinking about Anakin? At this point, she does not know what has happened to Anakin. So that's really interesting as well, as you take into what her mind may be thinking. And it's very dangerous for her to be a Jedi, because as we know, the Jedi have been ordered to be killed. So if she's discovered, it is a very bad thing. So a great story there, and I think a lot of people would love it. Question 7, today, why it's Christmas Day. What is a book that always gets you in the mood for Christmas? So for this, I'm going to pick Little Women. You also could say Harry Potter. I don't reread a lot of Christmas books other than A Christmas Carol. So those 2 classic books that take place, have periods that take place during Christmas, right? Because both those books, Harry Potter and Little Women, obviously have a long span of time between them, both years, but the Christmas scenes are so Christmas and so good. And I think I have a vivid picture of the Little Women 90s movie too, and how well they do Christmas in that movie. The next question is a Muppet Christmas Carol, your favorite film adaptation of a book. So we already discussed here that I love how they did Jurassic Park. I also love, I mean, I had like no issues with the Hunger Games at all. That was so good. Little Women, I loved the 90s, in particular Little Women. I haven't seen the most recent one, so I can't judge on that. But one adaptation that I really like is the musical version of Les Mis, or Les Miserables, which just came out a few years ago, probably longer than that, and I'm just old and not realizing, but it's the one with Hugh Jackman. So good, so good. And even though that's more of an adaptation of the musical is an adaptation of the book, so it follows. And I think if you haven't given that movie a chance, you really need to. It is just, whoa. It's just like, what a story. And I think, because I've seen the play twice on Broadway, and Jean Valjean's story and all of the characters, Javert, I mean, they just hold so much more weight for me when I can consume them kind of up close in this film setting as opposed to on stage. So I really recommend you watch this movie. It may not seem like a traditional Christmas movie, but you may have fun with it. You may have fun. So question 9 is to tag somebody. I had messaged some friends seeing if anyone wanted to be tagged. So let's see if we got, oh, we did, yes. Okay, so we are going to be tagging Lindsay B to do this. I will link her channel below because I think her Instagram name is Lindsay B. And her YouTube, but it's one or the other. It's a reverse, but you should check out her channel. She does a lot of book hauls, book tags, and Disney hauls as well. And the next person I will be tagging is Abby at the Disney Sisters. Abby does, oh, well, she loves Narnia. She's a Narnia girl. But in addition to her book videos, she's done some reading vlogs, things like that. She also hosts a monthly book club. So if you like some, especially fairy tale reads and things like that. So if you like that, be sure to check out the Disney Sisters. And thank you to both Lindsay and Abby for being tagged in this and spreading some holiday cheer in the Harry Potter sweatshirt. We are feeling it. So that's it, guys. That's it. I will be back again because it is a Vlogmas season. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I'll be back tomorrow and the next day. I'm doing Vlogmas on both my channels, Wrestling with Books and Wrestling with Disney. So there will be a video on one or both of those channels throughout December. Are you excited for more of this like train wreckness? Because I am. All right, guys. No more procrastinating work. I guess I gotta get back. All right. See you on the next one. I need to work on my outros.